faith, business, impact. You're tuned in to Bop With A Purpose podcast, where purpose leads and success follows. Fire.
What up,
How are
bro?
you?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, man.
Yes.
Second one that we've ever done, so bear with us as we go through these bumps on the Bop With A Purpose podcast. So,
Let's
how
go,
was your
man.
day
Second
today?
one. Man, it was a great day. It was productive. We got a lot of stuff done and ending it off great right now with you. So I'm excited for
Fire,
this. Let's
fire.
go.
So I'm gonna open up my notes real quick, make sure that we're live on all platforms. Run a little split screen just to double check.
Right.
And I don't look blurry on your end, I hope.
No, not at all, man. It's
Good,
clear.
because our first one was a little rough. I was connected to all my stuff that I have all my smart switches and everything connected to, and I was blurry for a whole hour and a half. And I was like, dang, like all this content is trash.
Oh, man. I've been there before, bro.
Dude, I was so upset too because it was such a good conversation with Nate Motivates. And I'm like, good thing he's my boy and like I can always get him back on. I'm glad I wasn't with someone that's like ungodly, busy and hard to get a hold of and all of that kind of stuff. Like we developed a good relationship, so that's good.
Hey, that was a good podcast, though. I watched a couple clips on that with Nate.
Yeah, it was. It was a very good in-depth podcast. I was super grateful to have him on, and he dropped some gems, and we dove deep into faith and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of the whole purpose of the podcast is, going through life with purpose, and just utilizing our faith to be a testimony onto others. So it's been amazing.
Right.
It's been amazing. So for
Definitely.
people who may not know you yet, who is George and where did this journey start for you?
Man, George was or is currently still just a shy kid from Louisiana, man. It's been an amazing journey from being in a small town, growing up in a small town in Louisiana, being super shy and not knowing who I could be to going along the journey of self-discovery and finding my voice. But it's been an amazing ride so far.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what was life like before the Clippers became like the main tool for you?
Man, again, live before the Clippers, man, it was just a lot of self discovery. And that's what I meant by that. Cause like before I picked up a pair of Clippers, I had no idea what I wanted to do, man. Like I was fresh out of high school. And the big thing around my area is like you're either going to the oil field, you're a logger, or you're a farmer. And at that time, I was working at a farm, and that's all I knew. That's all I knew. And I thought that was the only thing that I was going to be able to do. And so I worked on the farm for a few years after high school. Then slowly and surely, more doors started opening for me, and I started getting to so many different jobs, man. So many random jobs. I went from working on a farm to doing construction to plumbing, electrical, landscaping. I've done it all, dude.
Dang, hard worker, to say the
Yes,
least.
sir. Done it all, yes, sir. But I'm glad I went through that because it really gave me that work ethic. It taught me a lot. So I'm definitely grateful for that.
100%. And work ethic is like sometimes you inherit it, but sometimes you have to go through those crappy jobs to realize like, all right, I got to find something that's going to make me the type of money that I want so that way I can do the things that I want to do with my loved ones. And like my first job I was getting paid $7.25 an hour.
Yes,
And now I
sir.
look back and I'm like, dude, like these kids don't even understand now. Like you're flipping burgers and you're getting paid 15.75 at In-N-Out. Like
That's
minimum
the
wage is
thing.
$12. Like, bro, you got it good. Like you don't even
Yeah.
understand like how good you got it. I mean, it's still like you couldn't live off of it, but as a high school
Yes.
kid, like
No, it
you're
definitely
so
is one of those
lucky.
things, man. And that's a funny thing because I have a lot of younger kids that come and sit in my chair, like high school kids with summer jobs. And some of the summer jobs, like you said, they're paying 15 to like $18 an hour. I'm like, brother, like whenever I was even out of high school, man, I had my professional job. Essentially, was making about $6 an hour. Once you count in the amount of hours that I put in, it was a salary job, but it basically came out to be about $6 once you actually counted for the hours that we would work from sun up to sundown. And but it's one of those things that I truly believe that's what helped me build my character going through that stuff. I don't think I would be where I'm at without going through those jobs. So, and
Huh.
definitely a lot more grateful to be in a position that I'm in now because of that.
Right. Right. And then you
Mhm.
can share, like where you've been, with others. So that way maybe they can skip and collapse timelines and not go through what you had to go through, you know? If you ever
No,
have
definitely.
if you ever have kids or whatever, you can like literally like collapse timelines is what I've been told, I have very
Mhm.
I have very wealthy clients in my other business, and that's what they teach, like, everyone that's inside of their circle is collapse timelines. I'm like,
That's
"I'm gonna
timelines.
use that, like, I want my kid to, like, skip skip
Not
fast
definitely.
too."
And that's the thing, man. I think that's the thing with anything. Like you want the next generation to do better, right? Like me personally, I
Mhm.
don't have kids yet, but
Me
even
either.
with the barbers that work with me in here, I'm like, bro, like you don't have to go through the things that I've been through. And this is what you can do to skip some of those steps and get a lot farther, a lot faster.
Right.
Right?
Facts. Facts. I love that. Was there ever a moment where you realized barbering could be more than just a job? When was that moment?
Man,
Because I know that obviously you work with, clipper companies and all of that kinda stuff.
man, it's been a wild journey with that. Let's take it back to even before I even became a barber. One of the last jobs that I had was I was working with this man that he had a company. He did plumbing, electrical, and landscaping came after, but it was plumbing, electrical, and AC work. Then his wife decided to do like the landscaping company, right? And slowly and surely they started pushing me towards that. Man, and it was very different, right? Because like from doing the plumbing and electrical, it was hard work too. But the landscaping, having to build pathways, having to put out rocks and all that, that's a whole different work labor.
Right,
And that's kind of where I got the incentive. I was like, man, like I don't think I want to keep doing this because it's kind of got to the point where they wanted me to do that full time. It's like, I don't know if I want to do this. So I started really picking up the clippers. And even after I would get off landscaping, I would go straight to doing house calls. Sometimes I would get done working that job like at 7 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock at night. And I would go straight to the house calls and start cutting the hair. And at that time, I was charging $5 a haircut, right? And yeah, $5 a haircut. And I thought I was, man, and at that time, I was like gas too and everything. So, I'm like, man, but I started getting smart. I say I was getting smart. I was like, man, like instead of like going to all these different people's houses, let me optimize the time that I have and just let them know, hey, I'm cutting at this location at 8 o'clock to like 12 o'clock. Y'all show up to that house and I'll cut all of y'all there. And that's whenever I started seeing the money and the potential of being a barber. I was like, man, maybe I can make a living off this. And we're talking about $5.
right.
And that's all it took for me to be like, you know what, maybe I can do more than what I'm doing right now. And that's kind of been the same mindset throughout my whole journey as a barber now. Like it's been a lot of steps to get me to where I'm at, but been a learning curve with it all.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Mhm.
It's definitely been a journey for you. So how many
Mhm.
years ago was that $5 an hour house call?
That was in 2014, 2015. Around
Okay.
that time. And like I would say strongly that $5 an hour was in 2014 because in 2015 I finally got the opportunity to begin as an apprentice barber at a shop.
So, like, 12 years ago. Yeah.
Yes,
And
it's been a while.
still $5 then was still, like, very little money,
No, it
especially for
was.
even for a haircut, like,
It
but
it definitely
that
was. But
that just shows though that when you stick with it and you have a determination and
Mhm.
your chair is spinning, you're gonna eventually be winning. So,
Definitely.
I love that. I love that.
So,
Um, Early on, what did success look like to you? Obviously not that $5 house call.
Now, early on, man, I honestly had no idea what success looked like for me. I had no vision at the beginning. Like I said, whenever I graduated high school, I didn't know what kind of opportunities were available to me. I didn't know that I could do certain things, right? So I essentially had no idea what success was. All I knew after a while was that, well, all I really knew and what my parents instilled in me is like, hey, we work hard and we make a living to live. That's all. Like that's all I grew up knowing. But throughout that time that I was going through different jobs and everything, I started meeting people and started talking to them, and I discovered how they would do certain things, how they would get ahead, and I discovered that certain opportunities, certain success that they had, I could maybe have it too. And
Right.
little by little, that's how that my mindset started opening to that. But again, at the beginning, I had no idea what success would even look like for me.
So who is there a single individual that was that gateway to open that door for you?
Yes, Mr. Robert Bowles. And man, he was the one, man. Like I said, from going from like working on a farm, which I've had a lot of great influence. Like a lot of people influenced me throughout my life, right? The number one person has been my dad. My dad has been the one that taught me the work ethic and taught me to work hard and do what you have to do. Another guy was his boss, Mr. Wayne. He's another one that essentially had the uh, same story. Growing up, he would just work. He didn't even know, but he opened up the farm, right? He started his farm. But the turning point for me was whenever I worked with Mr. Robert Biles. Because whenever I started working with him, I think in 2013, I went into his industry with I'm gonna say poor mindset because my mindset was completely different. I was like, man, the world's against me. I'm about to come out here. I'm just gonna get paid whatever he wants to pay me. I'm gonna be busting my butt. This I had that mentality, right? But he was the one that taught me that there was a lot more out there for me, and he was actually the one that started instilling Christ into my life because growing up. I grew up going to church, but I never really actually had a relationship with God. But he was the first one that started really introducing me, and he's the one that taught me how to start walking by faith and how faith was going to open up so many more doors for me. So I owe it all to him, actually.
I love that. I love that. And
Mhm.
it's so wild that like we fell into this barber industry just to be completely transparent. Like my first phone call was actually with Jay Majors. I scanned a QR code on the back of a trailer and it was a barber. And we'll just say this QR code didn't go to Bopper. And I was like, yo, we're gonna change that today, dog. Because he was in my hometown. And I had breakfast with the gentleman. His name's AJ Wedding, and he got me on the phone with Jay Majors. And then my first show, unfortunately, was not his because my wife was graduating, but it was Rumble in the Rockies. And I couldn't tell you who was up on stage, but his first words out of his mouth was that he wants to thank his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I was like, wow. I was like,
Oh
man,
man,
like I mean, I can feel like the spirit. And so I was like, all right.
exactly.
But then went to CT and there was Hawk Vision was up on stage with Babyless. His whole presentation was scripture. And I was like, right room. Got it,
That.
God. Like, you don't have to tell me again. Like, I
Oh
know
yeah,
that we're in the right place. And I know that this is where we're supposed to plant our feet. And then we went to like 40 shows, over the
yeah,
past like 4 years. Like, it was definitely been a whirlwind. Um, but I love that he got you in, with everything, from faith to your business journey. It's amazing.
yes, man. Yes, he owes me everything. Even whenever I began, let me tell you this quick little story with him. So I was working with him, right? And the way that I actually got my opportunity as an apprentice was because prior to that, like I said, his wife was starting a landscaping business, and I was like, eh. So I started like trying to go into barbershop. I was like, man, I want to work at a barbershop. I started going to so many different barbershops asking if they would take me in as an apprentice. Nobody really gave me a response. And I essentially I kind of gave up until one day we went to the salon to change out a hot water heater, and we installed the new heater and everything. And when we were leaving, I don't know why, I decided to go and talk to the owner of the shop, and her name was Miss Tracy. And I asked her, "Hey, would you ever consider taking in somebody as an apprentice?" And instantly, she didn't even know me. I just changed out her hot water heater, and instantly she said yes. And
Wow.
instantly, and like I said, at that time I had given up, but I truly believe that God had directed me to work with this man, Mr. Robert, for me to go and change the hot water heater there and get that opportunity. Like there was no way that just coincidentally happened. Everything was already planned out, and that's how I got started with them.
100%.
Uh,
That's crazy. That's
yeah,
so
man,
crazy.
it
So,
is.
getting into that, my next
Mhm.
question is, how has faith played a role in your personal and professional life?
Faith has came into my life through trials, right? And I openly say that, like, I feel like one of the things with faith is that sometimes we may lose sight of faith. At least for me personally, I have before. But every time I lose that side of faith, I always get brought back in, because sometimes I feel like I get a little bit too comfortable and I start trying to do my own thing. And whenever
Mhm.
I try to do my own thing, it doesn't really work out the way I want it to. Saying like
Nope.
instantly, like me trying to go into barbershops. I tried to do my own thing without like considering like asking God, like, hey, where do you want me at? I was just trying to do my own thing. But through those trials, he would reel me back in and he would put me in the right direction again.
Wow. Yep. It's when you surrender it all. I mean,
Yes.
once you surrender everything to him, it gets a lot easier. It also gets a lot harder because, you still have that, like, weight of, like, "All right, God, I is this the right direction? Like,
Mm-hmm.
show me. Like, I really need to know because this seems like a huge leap, you know?"
Right.
And it's scary. Like, it
That
does
is
get very
scary.
scary and uncomfortable, but it's
Mhm.
like, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, we have clean water, clean food, clean shelter. Like, we have nothing to worry about at the end of the day.
Right.
So, like, we should be very grateful to even have that as, like, our only really worry, you know?
No, no, definitely.
So, you kinda already touched on this, which was faith always a part of your journey, or how did it grow as your career grew? So, talk about maybe how, it's kind of elevated since you've started your career, and because obviously you stated that you kinda grew closer.
Yeah, man. So again, and everything that I do, man, it's revolved again like around Mr. Robert Biles. I remember whenever I would work with him, he taught me so much more. One of the major things that I took from him was the power of the tongue. Whatever you speak is what's going to come to life, right? So I remember we would be riding around with in the morning times, and he would out of nowhere start praying. It's like, God, I know you're gonna give us jobs from everywhere. Like he's like, here pretty soon you're gonna give us abundance amount of jobs. Our cup is gonna be overflowing. We're gonna lend, not borrow. And just those words of information, man. And I would literally see it come to life. Like sometimes we wouldn't even have any customers, but then like he would speak that and out of nowhere, boom, we just get swamped with house calls, right? Like with service jobs. And that's something that I carried after I left him. Whenever I didn't have any clients, I would literally say, God, I know you're gonna bring me clients, you're gonna bring me clients that you want me to meet. You're gonna give me the right clients at the right time, you're gonna give me the skills, you're gonna help me learn. And I would speak words of information on myself. And that's honestly, I feel like that's what got me through those tough times of no clientele, and it uh kept me focused on where I was headed.
Yeah. Calling it into existence, you know?
Yes.
The power of life and death is in the tongue. It's biblical.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I learned that back in network marketing. Um, the pyramid scheme or whatever they want to call it, network marketing was a blessing because Bopper would not be here if it wasn't for network marketing. I wouldn't have my partner, who's a graphic designer, as even a friend, you know? So
Right.
it's crazy. But network marketing taught me a lot of those biblical based principles of calling it into existence and speaking life and act as if act as if you're a millionaire already. It's not like
Yes.
fake it till you make it. It's like when you get in and your emblem's a Toyota and you want a Lamborghini, like envision that emblem being the Lamborghini. I wanted a
Mhm.
Lexus, and like, I literally printed out a picture of an IS 250, and it was after network marketing, but I ended up getting an IS 250, and it was exactly what I had on my vision board. Like, it's just,
Let's go.
you know, like, you just trust God that this is I'm calling it into existence. Thank you, Lord, for already giving it to me. Thank you, Lord,
Yes.
for good health. Thank you for, healing my wife, and thank you for putting us together and all of that. Like, every day. Every day,
Definitely.
you just think what's not even there, and it just comes every time. It's wild.
Definitely. That's definitely what we live by.
Mhm. So, how do you stay grounded when things are going well and when they aren't?
Just kind of what you just touched on right now, having a clear vision of where we're going. I've been through so many different obstacles throughout the past 10 years, and man, I always knew exactly where I wanted to be. I think it's funny because a lot of people always ask me, did you think it would ever get to this point? And a lot of times I don't really like answering that question because it comes, I don't know how it may come off as, but honestly, yes. Like everything
Right.
that everything that I have right now, I literally envisioned it. Like this is what I dreamed of. This is how I saw everything coming out. And yes, this was the goal. Now certain things have like I've gotten more blessings than other, and it hasn't been that nice road that we essentially envisioned how it would be, right? It was a lot of ups and downs, but
It's a
essentially
roller
yes, and
coaster.
that's what keeps me grounded. Always knowing exactly where I want to be and what I want to do.
Yep. Yeah, and I always like, even when my wife and I met, and in my bio, we met on Tinder, all right, pre-Tinder being, Tinder. Um,
Right.
in my bio, I stole it from my best friend, and I put, "Don't mistake my confidence for cockiness." It's
I
like
love that.
it's like what you just said, like,
Uh,
did you ever yeah, yeah, I did. Like, I knew where I was going. Like, I had direction. That's not like you being cocky, it's just that's confidence. Like, you knew, and if you're all wishy-washy, like, you ain't never gonna get there, dog. Like, wake up, smell the
right.
coffee.
That's the thing,
Color be
man.
told, figure it out.
Right? No, that's the thing. And especially with me growing up as a shy kid, man, I knew I was tired of that. I knew that I wanted to speak in front of people. I knew that I wanted to make an impact, and I dreamed of all these things that I get to do now. So it was a challenge coming out of that comfort zone, but we did it. Yeah.
Mhm. I had the
So,
same thing. I was so shy all through high school.
come on,
And
that makes two of us.
and then even,
Mhm.
like, in college, like, I was shy, I didn't wanna present, nothing. And
Mhm.
my best friend, Dan Steele, invited me to a Vima network marketing event. They were the official energy drinks of the Phoenix Suns, and then he was speaking in front of, like, 30 people. He was shy too, all right? We were in I was in college, he was working some dead-end job and flipping cars, so he was doing okay. But then it was, like, I think a month and a half later, I did, like, $1,600 in 2 weeks. Like, I thought I was,
Dang.
like, king of the castle in network marketing, and we threw an event, and there was 150 people in this gym, and I'll never forget it. And I got up and I crushed it. And I was
Hey,
like,
that's so.
"Dang, like, I'm actually not bad at this." But I had been, like, practicing and practicing and practicing for a month and a half, home events of, like, 5, 10 people. And then, like, when there was a big opportunity and we had this guy who he was 21 years old, he was doing a couple $1,000,000 a year. He was here in Arizona at ASU, like, I mean, kid's crushing it. Now he does, like, 30 mil a year, like, he's still there, still crushing it. But I spoke in front of him, and I knew that I had to make make our city known. And that's
Right.
why I just kept practicing. And now, like, when I go to CTNLV, they're like, "Aren't you nervous going up on stage?" And I'm like, "No, not at all."
Mm,
Like, I was prepared for this. God put me through that season of network marketing for this right here to make an impact on this industry, like all the other leaders that are inside of this barber industry, making an impact on an industry that struggled, and was a
yes.
dark place for so long, and it was very, because lack of the better term, ghetto, like
Right.
the
Right.
barbershop has just
Definitely.
been like, that hood. And now it's
Uh-huh.
like, no, like we mean business. Like we deserve our keep and really making an impact through the community. And that's why I was like, dang, like I'm so glad that I went through that season. Just like
Yeah.
you, like
Right. It
crazy.
built you up.
It really does. It really
Mhm.
does. It really does. So, are there any scriptures, principles, or beliefs that guide how you move in business?
Yes, I can do all three. I can do all things through Christ who
Philippians
strengthens me.
4:13, boy.
413, man.
Oh,
That's again, that comes from Miss. Oh, come on, you have it there? Man, let's
mouse pad,
go.
baby.
Man. Yes, sir. That's
Tell me that ain't a
like I
God
said,
thing.
guys, see that again, that comes from Mr. Robert. That if anything, he instilled in that in me so deep. Like he was like, George, you can do anything. We can do anything. Like he would instill on that on me every single day. Every day. And that's what I live by to this day.
Same. That's literally my favorite Bible verse. Favorite one.
Man, that is wild.
Favorite
Mhm.
one. Like I learned that I was 11, probably 11 years old. That was like one of the Bible verses that I like remember. Like that was before John 3:16. Like I couldn't recite John 3:16, but I could recite Philippians 4:13.
I love it. Yeah, that's the word. And that is crazy. I love that. Yeah, that is the one.
So, how do you balance trusting God while still putting in the work?
That one comes back to what I was mentioning earlier, man. Like finding that balance, and I think it's at least for me, and just keeping it transparent. Sometimes that balance isn't always there. Sometimes, and sometimes when the good is good, I tend to kind of forget, right? But it's those trials that I start going back into. I'm like, oh man, like I think it's like a little like he's calling, like knocking on the door, like, hey, like I'm still here. I'm still waiting on you to bring me into your life. And I'm like, oh man, like that's it's always a one of those things. Like I do my best to try to keep that balance, but sometimes, being honest, like I start steering away, but then I get brought back in, and I'm super glad that I do because I can't do it without him.
Yeah, thank God that he's gives us grace for sure.
Yes, no, definitely, man, definitely.
And it's like
Mhm,
when everything's going good, it's like that's when it's easiest to go like, "Oh, maybe I can do it on my own. Oh, maybe."
yes.
And then God goes, "Remember me? Like
Yes.
you gonna learn today, son." Like
Man, that's a
you better be
thing.
listening. And
Yeah, because
it sucks to go through that, those, mountaintops and valleys, but then they get a little bit better when you realize like, all right, I need to set aside time no matter what. Like I have a non-negotiable Sunday, like I'm at church on time every time. Like I'm not late. Like I'm staying till the end and I'm not working. Like the only time I'm working is because I own a detailing business too. The only time I'm working is if it rained and like they're doctors and I can't go to their facility because they're in surgery. Like that's the only exception. Other than that, like no, it's
that is a
I'm
rest there.
taking my Sunday off. And
Yes.
I used to not do that. And my business
Man.
has flourished ever since I started being faithful with that
Mhm.
and then with my tithe because I struggled with that for
True
so
time.
long. I struggled
Yes.
with that
Yes.
for a very long time. And
Uh-huh.
then it got broken down to me like, all right, this is to enhance the kingdom of God so that way the church can bring in people,
Mhm.
so that way they can do outreach, so that way the church can grow and get people's lives saved so that way they can inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I'm like, boom. Okay, God, here you go.
Yes.
This 10% was already yours anyways. Got it. But
Right?
the church doesn't
That.
break that down. Like most churches, they just
Mhm,
don't break it down. And a lot of churches, like our church, speaks on this very heavily because our church
mhm.
spends a lot of money. Um, most churches don't break it down. They aren't good stewards of their money. And it goes into the, pastor's pocket or goes to the Vatican or whatever the heck they do with it. Our church is like, I mean, we flew helicopters over Scottsdale Road, which is like a main road for the kids, and had an Easter bunny drop Easter eggs. Like that costs money.
Come
Like
on.
the church just
Yeah.
doesn't get like government funding. Like it has to come
Mhm.
from us so that way we can do outreach and, bring in. And I'm like, wow. All right.
Right, no,
And then
definitely.
my business flourished. I'm like, all right, check, check.
That's the thing, man. That is something else that Miss Robert taught me early on, and I think, and maybe, but I remember him telling me, and I never double checked on this, but I think he said in the Bible it says that's the only time that God tells you to test Him.
Yep.
Yeah, test Him, man. I remember the very first time I actually tithed that. I was like, man, like I feel bad for doing it, but Miss Robert said like it's in the Bible, I should test it. And man, whenever I tell you I started tithing, and it's one of those things like everything flourishes, and it might not be coming back in money wise, but man, whenever I tell you, like, I'm 31 years old now, I still have both my parents, my family. I've gone through very little debts. Like everybody, all my family's like super healthy. Just I've been blessed, man, in so many different ways. And like I'm like, man, like that changed up everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
what I live by. And aside from like the tithing at church too, that's something else that I try to focus on. Is always helping others when you can or whenever I can, and giving back to them as well. So that not too long ago, we had guys like during Christmas, right? That's when we have the most people coming in trying to sell us uh flowers, trying to sell, all kinds of stuff. And man, as long as I can, I try to give back to their business as well because it always comes back to
100%.
um,
Threefold. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
On our little tithe thing on the back of our chairs, on the little envelope, that's what it actually says is test me. And then
Test
it
me.
has the scripture. And I was just like, but then I found out this was after I had started tithing when I went through like the membership class, and they have a program where you can test it for 90 days and the church holds the funds. And if it doesn't work in your favor, if God doesn't do what he says he's going to do, the church will give you all of your tithe back. That's how confident they are. And he said,
Man.
and I mean, they've been around over 15 years now. They've never given it back. Never had
Um,
to. No one's ever asked. And they've had it since day one. I'm like, yep, okay. That's a testimony right there. You can tell everybody that.
right. Nah, definitely. That
So
is amazing. Love it.
so switching gears a little bit,
Uh-huh.
walk us through your creative process and what goes through your mind before a cut. So obviously, you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, you're crushing it. I see on your TikTok you're, over 1 million. So definitely get some views there. So what goes through your process, before the cut so that way you can film and do everything the right way?
It's kind of one of those things, man. So what I found that works for me the best is I simplify everything that I do. Everything that I do is simplified, and I think by simplifying everything, I take a lot of pressure off myself. Because before, like whenever I first started getting into content, I used to literally like try to plan out the whole thing. I used to like write out the scripts, or not even really the scripts. I would just like say, all right, I want to take this shot of from this angle, have this lighting pointing right here and this lighting here. It would be so many multiple things that it would be overwhelming. So now, whenever a client walks in, my number one purpose behind that is really reading the client, right, and seeing how I can best connect with my client. That's number one thing for me. But let's once we make a connection, he's in the chair, I feel his vibe, and he's feeling pretty good. That's whenever I can decide, man, can I make a video off his hair or not? And Usually, what I do, man, what the way that I'm able to create so many content is that I start cutting one side of the head first, and I'm having my full regular conversation with my clients. And throughout that, I'm asking little questions, and it might be on what he's doing today, or it might be like something he doesn't like about his hair. So the moment I see that, like, oh man, he doesn't like this about his hair, or if I'm cutting the hair and I see certain little something, I'm like, that could be great to teach somebody. On the other side, that's whenever I'm like, hey, bro, would you mind if I make a quick video? And from there, I decide, okay, do I want to make this a just a straight educational tutorial video, or if it's like I said, if he's got like a really good story, I like to make more entertainment. It just depends, but it all comes from me simplifying my process on how I do. Some
Right.
clients I make videos with, some I don't, but it just
Got it.
all depends.
I
Mhm.
love that. And what platform do you generally like the best when it comes to posting?
TikTok.
TikTok?
I, again, TikTok changed up the whole game, man. At least I like to say for me and for a lot of people actually, because again, whenever I first began trying to post content on Instagram on during that time era, it was all about the who had the fanciest cameras, the best lighting, the best everything. Let me see.
I got you on your other camera.
Hello. Hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're crystal clear. Can you hear me?
All right, now can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that. I can't hear you for some reason now, but as long as you can hear me,
All right. Can
now
you
I
hear
can
me
hear
now?
you. Yes.
All right.
Sorry about
Solid.
that. Yeah, I
No,
dropped my
it's all
phone.
it's because you were talking trash on another platform.
That's what it was. Oh, man. that's, that's what it was.
That's
Man.
what it was.
God,
Oh
no,
man,
but I'm.
I was actually taking like a deep dive into your TikTok account, and I'm like, dang, like he's getting like TikTok shop eggshell chairs, putting them together. I'm like, dang, like crushing it over here.
Man, no, that's the thing with TikTok, man. TikTok simplified everything, the process of how you create content. Again, in
Hmm.
order to compete on Instagram back then, you had to have the best quality videos and everything. And it was so much different. But whenever finally switched over to TikTok in 2021, uh, I figured out because at first I was trying to do those high videos with the sounds and everything. But the moment I just started speaking into it, and I was like, man, this is easy. Like I can just speak into the camera. It doesn't really matter how the lighting is. I just speak, and as long as the value is there, it performs well. And that's what I
Right.
really started focusing on. Yes, just having value inside the video and just making it simple to where I could record it anytime and post easily.
Yeah, because I think we all get caught up in that. You have to make it cinematic to make it, have good quality and value and da da. Da, and it's like that's not even true anymore,
No,
thankfully. Because
right.
like if anything, those are more like commercial style stuff, and most people just scroll on them anyways because they're so
Mhm.
like just played out. Whereas like that user generated content, just like selfie in an iPhone, is kind of what's popping off now, and that's what we've noticed, which is a good thing for us because like we have to have two cameras or two phones because you have to show the device,
The
and
device.
then you have to have a phone
Mhm.
that's recording it, so you have to literally have three people to film content for us, and it's like
Right.
it's very hard when all three of us live in separate parts of the country. Like I live in Arizona,
Right.
my other partner lives in Wisconsin, and the other one lives on the East Coast, and it's just like,
Man, y'all really just spread out.
well, both of them used to live in the same like area in Wisconsin where we actually grew up together because we're all friends. So we actually grew up in the same city. We weren't friends together at all. I think Matt and Jarek were, but like I went to a completely different school. So
Mhm.
we grew up all in the same town, and then we founded this company together. And then Jarek moved all the way to the East Coast this year. I've been in Arizona because I'm not dealing with the winter. Like, heck no. So, but yeah, no, it's very tough to make content, you know. So
Right.
now that it doesn't have to be so cinematic, it's become a lot easier.
Yes.
Especially over the past like 2 years. So I definitely get that. Um, so tell us about like your TikTok shop like journey. What's that been like?
It's been a learning process, man. It's kind of like how any other journey that I go on. It's one of those things where I just love to explore. I love to discover different things. So TikTok Shop again is kind of been one of those things that's I've been watching it for the past year. Like people talking about, oh, I've been doing this, and at first it's one of those things where like, man, I don't really want to be too salesy. I don't want to be out here promoting stuff, but then again, like God through push you through certain situations to take you to the next things, and some of the things that I've been through is like, all right, how can I be more creative, because I only have this much time, I have this problem, I need to figure out a way to make that happen. And I was like, man, what if I do just start selling on TikTok Shop? Let me find the products to start selling on there. And I've been doing it for 3 weeks right now, so I'm so early on. But just in these 3 weeks, I've seen the potential in it, and it's got me fired up, man. Like it's giving me this like new hunger. And it's like, man, like I think God is trying to show me, like, hey, I want you to do this. Like I've given you the tools, you can do this. Go ahead and go for it. So
Oh,
that's where I'm at
100%.
right now.
Yeah, and I mean, your
Mhm.
creative process is already there because, like, I watched that full entire chair video, and like, it was entertaining. Like, low key, it was entertaining, and it wasn't salesy. Like, I mean, it was salesy, but it wasn't. Like, it was like, all right, this is information, this is value. Like, it was good.
that that's what
And
I
like,
mean
even
by
even the Clipper ones are like so natural, so
uh,
natural. So
appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you go through different obstacles, and I will say this: everything happens at God's time, right? Like, cause
100%.
I can try to do certain things earlier, but it's not going to happen. I had to go through certain things for me to really fully understand how to create content. I had to simplify the process. I had to understand how to story tell. All these years of me creating content like I have been have brought me to this point now that I can create an egg chair tutorial,
All
and
right.
with it being educational, entertainment, and persuasive enough to where like people like, oh, I might need this. And yeah, man, it's taken all that to get me to this point though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I think that God's put you on this path for a reason, because that TikTok shop is, man, I've seen so many people just like blow up, like that we've
Yeah.
been watching for a while. And
Mhm.
it's hard for us because like we have our stuff on TikTok shop, but finding creators that can create for us that are gonna, do it the right way and be ethical about it, and just like
Right.
represent our brand. That's our main thing, is like we want our brand represented the right way. Like
Right.
we don't want vulgar language, we don't want like all of that, like even like bleeping stuff out. Like we don't do that. Like we don't post anything like that. Like,
Right.
sure, we all probably, have sharp tongues, unfortunately. We all do it, but it's like we don't want our brand represented like that. And so that's why we've
Nah,
kinda,
definitely.
taken a step back of like, all right, how do we get into that creator space of, these
Mhm.
TikTok shop creators like yourself? So it's definitely gonna be an amazing journey. I hope that we can, pump some content out, because I know you love
Yes.
Bopper, so I don't even have
Oh
to
yeah, no,
sell you
definitely,
on
man.
it.
Definitely. And that's kind of what I've already like since last time we talked. Like, I mean, we just kind of briefly discussed it, and it's like I've already been thinking, like, man, how can we create content and start pushing that? So instantly, like my mind is already like, how, like, but it's
Yeah.
part of the learning process. I'm like, there's a way, and we're gonna figure it out.
I can send you some videos that will definitely convert and work. And I mean, for everybody that's listening and most people, that have met us at, whether it be CT, LV, or any of the other 40, expos that we've been to, we're not greedy.
Mhm.
Like when people want to be affiliates and be ambassadors, we're like, yeah, come on, like we're gonna give you a fat commission because we're just not greedy. We're from Wisconsin. We're not Silicon Valley people. We don't have venture capital funding. Everything was self-funded, self-made. Literally from the graphics to the app, like we didn't outsource a single thing. The only thing that
Man.
we've ever outsourced is our Facebook and Meta ads, and that's because we tried and we failed, and we were just like, all right, time to pay someone because we're lost. And shout out to
That's
Habibi Sunglasses for that plug because he got us connected with our ads person. So thank
oh,
God,
that's awesome.
because
Right.
otherwise I'd still be going to shows and like wanting to pull my hair out because I'm like, dude, we're losing money at these shows like bad. Like I mean, shows are where you build relationships. And I think that's what a
Hmm.
lot of people don't understand is like the value of that relationship and the network that you can create through a show is what most people just don't understand. They think that it's a waste of money, a waste of time. Like whether you're a brand or a barber, like people think that it's a waste of time. And I'm like, you don't even understand. Like
Oh man.
these these expos are literally putting people on game. Like and the gems that they drop inside education that are completely dead, which is wild to me. Like
Hmm.
Cherry the Barber does an amazing 5-star barber expo, like amazing show. I walked
Right.
inside her education room. Marvy Marv is up on stage, and I kid you not, there was still empty seats. And I'm just like, besides and it wasn't empty by any means, but like there should be standing room. Like
Yeah, no,
with
definitely.
someone that literally reaches 10 plus million people, like I'm sorry, but you should be in that room if you're a barber. And even if you're in a one state radius of Texas, you should be in that room. Like it's a flight
Hmm.
away for a gem that could literally change your life. And people just simply don't understand that. And like for us as a brand, like going inside of those rooms and like I popped in education rooms, like we're supposed to have a ticket to get into education, even as a vendor, which most people don't know. Well, I go up to the expo owner and I'm like, hey, like, I want to go in here. Do I have to buy a ticket? Or like, can I give you some product and you flip it and you can make more money than what the ticket would cost? And I give them product. And they're like, oh, you don't even need to give me product. Just go. But I'm like, no, 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 here. Because I wanted to get it in the hands of the people and I want to make an impact anyways. But I go in there and I'm
Right.
like, dang, like they're dropping gems. And in those rooms are where you meet people. You don't know who you're sitting next to. Like Jay, I mean, he throws the Grammys and it's like when you pay for that table, like, yeah, it's a bag, it's $1,000, $1,500. But who are you sitting next to? DeWilkie from GMB
Then
Pro,
literally.
Mr. B or Mr. Beauty Supply, like that's who you're sitting next to. Do you want to get in those rooms or do you want to still be cutting behind the chair when you're 45 and your back's hurting, your wrists are hurting, you have arthritis and da 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 da? Like you choose.
Mhm.
Like these opportunities are there and like so many people just miss it. And I'm like, dude, you guys need to wake up and smell the coffee. Like
No,
these expo
definitely.
owners, like what most people we've seen a lot because like we did the brand refresh for CT, complete rebrand for LV. We did the websites for CT and LV, pitch deck, the whole nine. Like we saw like the back end, and what most people don't see is all of that grind that those people put on. Whether it's Jay or even Baby Latino over in California, like they
Yeah.
put so much into this, their blood, sweat, and tears, and they don't come out millionaires off of it. It's what's
Hmm.
built in those rooms that makes them successful,
No,
and
definitely,
people
man.
just miss it.
Definitely. I mean, I think even this podcast right now, it was done through a show. I mean, I've linked with you a couple shows now, and I got
Mhm.
to know you there, and like I personally believe like that's how even this opportunity came about to be able to be on this
100%.
with you. But it's kind of one of those things. Maybe if I would have never gone to a show, I never met you there, like it would have been like, oh yeah, I've seen him before, but who knows how this guy is, or vice versa. So it's like they definitely do build and open a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. And it's great because, you can walk into a room now and people know who you are, you know? Like, you walk into a room and people know who you are because you've been at shows, you've networked with the best of the best, and then you've built your brand, you've built your social media presence from that. And that's kinda exactly what happened to us too, is like, we were a nobody entering into this industry, a complete nobody, and s most most shows, most people thought that we weren't gonna last and that we were just, fly by night. We were gonna be at 1 show, maybe 2 shows. No, we were at every show. We were showing out, we were showing up, and we were shaking hands. And outside of Habib, I was the first one to set up and the last one to leave every time.
Come on.
He's the only one, like, and he's a beast. That
Yeah.
and BB&B, Bloods, Veins, and Bandages.
Um,
Oscar, I mean, like, outside of, like, us 3, like, we're grinding, and we're still here, and now when we walk into an expo, like, it's crazy because it's going from, the Grammys the first year that we went to now going, for 3 years. It's like now when we walk in, like, people are like, "Oh, what up, Bopper?" Like, they may not know my name, but they know Bopper.
what
That's
up,
all that matters
Bopper?
to
I
me.
love that.
I'm like, "All
What
right,
up,
we
Bopper?
impacted the industry, like, we're good." Like, they know who we are.
Right.
Before it was like, dude, we were standing in the back of the room twiddling our thumbs. Now it's
Man,
like
that's
they're
a
coming up
dang.
to us. I feel so grateful and blessed. And, like, I
Right.
watched how everything was going on at Rise of Hair, with Bird, and,
Mhm.
like, how people would go up to other individuals, and I'm just like, "Dude, like, this is a industry, like, or this is like a room full of, like, goats. Like, this is
Mhm.
crazy."
Nah, it is crazy, man.
Definitely crazy.
Mhm.
So, um, what what's been one of the hardest seasons inside of your career?
Oh man, I think this ties into what we're just speaking about. It's the building seasons. The building seasons of at first, whenever you first get into something, you're essentially trying to do something nobody's done before, and especially in your community. Let me speak on my community, right? I went to my first barber show in 2018, and I saw the opportunities that lied ahead. Like I was like, man, like I can do more than just cut hair and behind the chair every single day, because I was tired at that time. And I started seeing the opportunities. I'm like, man, how can we do this? And I started wanting that more, right? So essentially it was a season of me just having to build, and I had to build a lot of that by myself because a lot of the people in my area, like again, I'm from a small town in Louisiana, and not everybody was aware of what else was available. So a lot of the stuff I had to build by myself, and just going to shows by myself, networking by myself, coming back and just figuring out new ways. Again, like here, base price was like $10. And I was like, man, there's got to be more because I just went to this show and they're charging $15. How can I charge $15 here now? And trying to figure out that way and trying to get people used to that. And literally like every stepping stone of that was for I would say my first 6 years in the barber industry was just me alone. Just grinding in the shop alone, going to shows alone, and but little by little you start building those relationships, and it finally you have a breakthrough. But that's one of the major things, man. I would say that not really being alone, but having to figure out things by yourself for a while.
Right.
I think
Yep.
that was one of the hardest seasons.
Yeah. Building seasons are fun, but they're a struggle for
Yes.
sure.
Just because you got to get everybody on board with what you're trying to do, and not everybody's going to see the same vision or want to hop on board. Like, but then after a while, like everything just starts coming naturally. Like,
Once you really show that you're there to provide value, and
mhm.
that you're not looking for a handout, that's when, it seems like it comes a little bit easier. Because,
Yes.
like, that's I think that's like the name of the game, is like provide as much value as you can. you know? Just
Mhm.
like, when you were talking about creating content and stuff, like, you're providing value. And I think
Right.
it's the same, like, when you go into shows, when you go into, just networking, even inside of your community, like, don't go with your hand out, like, asking for something. Like, "What can I do
Mhm.
for you today?" Like, don't even ask, because they're gonna ask you what they can do for you. I mean, how
Right.
many times do you have to give before, you get? Like, that's a principle of
That's
the Bible, like, just give, 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 and it will be given back to you threefold. Like,
mhm.
you just have to give. And yeah, I mean, that's what we did, thankfully. I mean, that was something that level 3 actually kind of really instilled in us.
Mhm.
We took their little gem, I think it was Jay Nori that was up on stage, um, and he said, uh, "You wonder why we give away all this free product. Why do we have the biggest booth?" Or something like that, and I was just like, "Wow." Like, that's so true because
Right.
everyone buys it because they got 1 free sample, and that's why, like, during education or whatever, like, we would give out, 100, 200, 300 devices, and it's like, that costs us a lot of money, but, like, the amount of impact that we had on people, and then they're mouthing off inside of the shop because they were the only one that came from the shop, and then they're the one who's elevating, and then we see orders trickle in, and we're like, "Ha, that worked.
Hey,
Got it."
that's the thing, man. That's the thing, giving back, and even that's even on how my social media started blowing up. Because again, going back to like the early Instagram days, it was more about showcasing your skills, right? That's what it was. It's like creating a highlight reel. Like, man, this is what I can do, and that's what I was trying to do until one day I posted a video of me teaching somebody how to cut hair, and that video blew up. And I was like, man, what? I was like, all right, so let me post another video teaching how to cut hair, and that started blowing up. And that's whenever I discovered the whole secret of everything was just by giving out free education. And honestly, I got a lot of hate for the longest time on it because it was so new. I remember a lot of barbers like would be in the comments like, "Oh man, the game shouldn't be told." You know, it's the same mentality. The game shouldn't be told; it should be sold, kind of thing. I was
Right.
like, "Brother, nah, it's good. Like, they're not going to take my clients. Like, I'm gonna teach them, man. You know." And that's honestly how I built up my platforms through giving back education.
Well, and it's like, alright, it shouldn't be, it should be sold, whatever. But at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, what about that ascension? Because, like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, you give them free game, but they're gonna want more. And then it's like,
Yes.
alright, that's where you pay. Like, this consultation
Yes.
is a separate line item on your balance sheet. Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to pay me, $500 or $97 or whatever. Like, you know, Marv did that. Like, he gives out free gems all the time, like, on a little
Yes.
30-second reel. But then if
Uh-huh.
you really wanna dive deep, you
Like that
really
one
wanna
on
go in,
one.
boom, it's
Yes.
97. Like, what's
Uh-huh.
realistically, what's 97? Not that much, especially when
Mm-hmm.
you can start generating, a lot of money off of it, especially, if you're doing TikTok shop and, God willing, you get to the point where you're doing 30, $40,000 a month like half these people are. But
Yeah,
it's
man.
like, if you can create that type of content that really captivates the audience and you learn that for $97, dude, that's cheaper than any education that you're ever gonna get.
No, definitely.
So,
And you know, that's kind of, and touching base on that too, that's kind of how it was like whenever I was giving out for education. Little long story short, at one point, uh I essentially quit cutting hair because I got a little bit too comfortable. That's where I started, like, I was like, man, I'm good. I kind of stopped balancing God in it. I got a little bit too comfortable. I was good from social media paying, and I spent a lot of that money. So it put me in a super down and in a great downward spiral, right? And I was in this place where I was like, man, how am I gonna, like, I just spent all this money. I'm not even cutting hair no more. I was like, man, and at that time, one of my a guy found me off TikTok, came in, cutting my hair. Long story short, we made a really good bond. After like 3 or 4 times, we decided to launch an online course. It was like, hey man, like more people want to get a further in-depth education with you. I was like, man, I can't sell a course because I already teach people how to do it. I do it for free. Like that's what I do. He's like, no, man, I think God wants you to like teach people. And he's like, I think you should really put out this course because you can go more in depth. Here you're getting 1 minute clips, but if you put out a full course step by step from the start to finish, it's going to be great value to them. Man, and I was skeptical, but essentially at that point, I was also in a point where like I was like, man, why I ain't got any? I'm pretty broke right now. Like, what's it gonna hurt? So we recorded the course, man, nonstop, like for like 2 months every weekend, like just full recording, and we launched it. And man, we got so much love from that course, and it's been able to help so many people. So it is one of those things like you give out, and essentially people give back to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the support that I've
100%.
received from everything, man, and it's been a blessing. And that's kind of one of the things too. Now, like one of my new passions is social media, of course. So I want to launch a mentorship to teach people how to utilize social media and it'll be in depth and all that. So yeah, like it's
100%.
it's one of those things.
How much is your so for everyone that's viewing this, how much is your Clipper course?
So it's my fundamentals fading course. It's $150.
$150.
hundred and fifty
Easy.
dollars. Yes.
Especially
Cause
when you can collapse those timelines and fade
uh-huh.
faster, you're making more money. I mean,
Yes.
that's a no that's a no-brainer to me.
Yes, because I mean, even myself, I've paid a lot of money on courses before all this, which is honestly what helped me be a better. I would say I don't know if educator is a word, but I guess so. Educator, it's made me a better educator because I've taken so many courses in the past, and it's helped me in the long run.
Mhm. 100%. And $150 is very reasonable. So I think
Mhm.
that for anybody that is viewing that is a barber, definitely get on that because I mean that's a no-brainer, especially, if it's a tool that can literally make your time go faster. And then you can get more
Mhm.
clients in and out in one day. You're gonna make a heck of a lot more than 150 bucks.
Yeah,
I think
that's a.
that's something that a lot of people struggle with is like investing in those resources and tools to like shorten time. Like I was
Mhm.
so cheap in my detailing business. Like, I mean, I did buy like a blower, it was like 550 bucks, like filtered air. That helped a little bit, but then it was like I went to a fly on the wall thing that was a kid that was in network marketing that now like coaches and consults people on business ownership, and he does very, very well for himself. Shout out Cody Barton, but he let us be like a fly on the wall. And he was talking about tools and all of this, exactly what we're talking about. The next day, I bought a vacuum hose reel, so I stopped having to take out my vacuum. That saves me like a minute to 2 minutes in and minute to 2 minutes out. Like, and then wheeling it around and all of that kind of stuff. Bought a vacuum reel, like that, those kinds of tools. So, like, tools like resources like what you're providing and like good clippers, whether that be babyless or wall, whatever. Um, that's going to collapse that time rather than
Yeah,
getting some, janky $100 clipper or $60 clipper just because you want to be cheap. It's like, no, spend that extra time to get that higher RPM so that way you can get these clients in and out so you can make more
literally
money because it's really not that
efficiency.
much more.
Efficiency, man, and that's
Uh-huh.
this takes me back to my farm days, man. And I think one of the biggest like assumption about farms is like everything's broke and nothing really works. But my dad's boss, yeah, my boss at the time, that was his biggest thing. Is like, man, we need good stuff, and we need good stuff that makes us work faster. So he would always tell me like, man, we're gonna buy this. He's like, what do you need? I was like, man, it would be nice if I had like this for the it was chicken houses, right? I was like, man, I would be nice if we like this could clean out this chicken house a lot faster, blah blah blah. It's like, all right, we're getting it. If it's gonna improve efficiency and production, let's get it. Like, and
Hmm.
that was my first understanding to that. And to this day, that's what I do. Like, you know what's something that gets me in a barber world? Eye backs, the sweeping up the hair, man. So
Uh-huh.
many people always complain, man, I gotta sweep up the hair, get the dustpan and put. I'm like, brother, like a knife bag costs $100 something. Like, just sweep it in there, just sucks it up, and you're good. Go on. Or just
Or
little
just go
things
buy
like
a
that.
Robo-Rock and have it do it all for you.
That too, like just little simple stuff like that. It's like, man, make your life easier if you can. Like, but,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everybody sees like that, I guess.
It's the things that like even in like your home life, it's like those
Mhm.
things that are taking away time from you being productive is something that you should probably buy to eliminate that time constraint that you're, wasting time on. Like
Right.
my my wife, she used to run her dad's liquor store. Prior to that, she was in pharmacy for 10 years. She has a degree in supply chain. She's very, very, very knowledgeable. But now she stays at home, and I told her, I was like, just take care of the house. Like, I don't even care. Like, you don't even have to work. Just like stay at home. I'd rather you be happy and at home and like find your calling and find what God wants you to do. And
Mhm.
like she started doing TikTok live a little bit. So hopefully
Ah, I
that
love it.
that goes. Um, but I'm like, just do what God wants you to do. Ask him, like, guide me in the right path, like in the right direction on what he wants you to do. And we were struggling because I'm like, dude, like these floors that are at our new place like suck, and she's not mopping them every day like I want to because my mom, who's watching, thank God, hi mom, she cleans her house every single day. She owned a cleaning business. By the grace of God, I was able to pay off her house, and she's retired now. But I grew up in a very clean home, and my wife grew up in a very clean home, but she had a cleaning lady. My mom was the cleaning lady. So
That's it.
my mom was making 19K a year. Her her parents probably paid the cleaning lady 19K a year. So, anyways, struggling with this floor, and I'm like, I'm buying a Roborock. I've seen it on TikTok. I don't care. I'm buying it. Screw it. I'm done because I want this floor. First day, I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, the floor's
Right.
amazing. And it frees up that time that my wife was spending after I got home, which I don't like because it's like I want to spend time with you. I don't want to watch you clean a floor. Like that's crazy. And I don't want to clean the floor because I just cleaned 14 cars today. Last thing I want to do is clean my own house.
Right. Not definitely, man.
But now we
It's,
have Miss Daisy Roborock sitting over there freaking cleaning, and I'm like, sweet. You
oh
can
man,
you
that's
can stay
crazy
on
you
TikTok
mentioned
live, baby.
that. That's literally today. Literally today, I was mopping the bathrooms, and man, and I've been seeing that TikTok shop floor vacuum. I don't know if you got. I'm pretty sure you got the one I've been looking at. It like
Yeah.
self cleans itself and
Mhm.
stuff. Okay, so we have
Buy it.
this in the one. I was like, man, I should have just went ahead and bought this. I was thinking about that today.
Buy
That
it.
was my sign. I'm a buy it now.
Dude,
Yeah,
buy it,
that's
for
the
real.
thing.
It literally gets
Yeah.
along the edges, it's
Mhm.
perfect. Like, I wish that I was a TikTok shop affiliate because I would sell the living daylights out of this, very I think expensive machine, but it's so worth it. It frees up so much time. But it self-cleans itself, self-dries itself, and, like, it does, like, a lap around, like, our floor, and then goes back and washes the mop heads itself, so it's, like, staying clean and sanitary the entire time.
Oh man,
Dude, it's great. And then
I'm
here's the
definitely
best
about
part.
it.
You buy it, all right, and then you message Roborock with a video, and you're like, "Hey, I need some commission. I'm about to post
That's
this."
that's
And
a way, man.
and
It's
I don't know what 20 or
utilizing the
30% on
tools.
$450 is, but it's a lot.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, you just sold me on it. I'm not buying it now.
See, I should get paid for that. What the heck?
For real, man. You should.
For real.
It's crazy how social media works, man. Yeah, like literally.
Dude,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what network marketing was you tell your friends about the favorite movie that you saw, so why not tell your friends about an energy drink? Same thing like with Bopper. Like Bopper literally sells itself.
Right,
I
like.
mean, when you tap it to someone's phone, when your client taps it in the chair and can leave you a review or book with you, on whatever booking platform that you have, it sold itself because one, you just got more money in your pocket than you'll ever pay us. Number one. Number two, your client's happy because they just got secured their next appointment in 2 weeks rather than 3 or 4. All right. So that's already great. And then they want a bopper. I don't know, everyone that I encounter, when I'm out
Oh yeah.
detailing, like when I bop someone, they're like, dude, where can I get that? It's
Yeah, they're
like
like,
when it
oh wow,
sells
man.
itself.
Yeah,
It's like, wow.
that's the one, man. That's a thing. No, definitely.
So, but
Love it.
let's dive into the next question. So, how do you handle pressure, expectations, and outside noise?
Man, I think this is something I take pride in, man. I think I handled that very, very well, man. I've never really let it bother me, and I think mainly because I've always understand who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So it's so easy just to cancel out the noises from the outside coming in. Like even right now with the TikTok shop, I'm pushing that out, and I'll get comments like, "Ah, bro, like they'll like, man, how can I buy this without him getting commission?" I mean, it's like, okay, cool, but like I know what path I'm on, and I don't know, man. I've always been that. Even with TikTok Shop, whenever or not TikTok Shop, just TikTok in general. Whenever I started creating videos, man, I would get so many comments. I don't like to call them hate comments because they actually make me better, but essentially
Algorithm
hate
boosters.
comments. And yeah, and it was like one of those things, man. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Like if you want to think that it's cool, but I'm gonna keep on doing my thing, and that's I don't
Yep.
I don't let it get to me, man.
I think it's like the more haters that you have, the more impact that you have. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, you look
Mhm.
at every millionaire, billionaire, whatever, that are happy, not like the ones that are
Mhm.
miserable. Like, there's a guy out here named Andy Elliott, and he gets so much
Mhm.
hate on the internet. Bald dude, sales guy, teaches
Oh, I
people
know
how
what
to
you're
do.
talking about.
I mean, he'll
Uh-huh.
literally like call a dude out like for being overweight, and he's like, "Stand up, dude, you're fat." Like, and he's like,
Mhm.
"I'm not calling you out, I'm calling you up. You can do better. Let's go. You want to run or not?"
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and he gets so much hate, but in the deep, like once you really like dive into like his deep personality and like his actual like persona of himself, like he's very, very grounded, very, very humble,
I
and
do.
it's like think once you realize that those hater comments don't even matter is like the moment that you really have an impact, especially when there's a lot of them. Like
Yeah,
when you're
man.
pissing people off, you're probably doing something right. Like
Uh,
when it
that's.
comes to social media, like
Mhm.
it's like, oh, now you're doing TikTok shop. All you want to do is sell. Dude, I have to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Like, don't you get like
Uh-huh.
we'll get messages and like obviously we're running ads for those that are watching. Like we run ads on social media. Um, our cost per acquisition is around like $30. Our average order value is about 31. You do the math on how much money we're making when we sell you a product. Not a
Mhm.
lot. And then for all of our social media, contact card, Cash App, and Venmo is all free to share. We give it out for free, along with a built-in CRM where you can follow up with your clients later. You can download that contact into your phone. All of that's all free, which most companies are not. And
Right.
then we have a $30 a year, under one haircut per year. And it unlocks your booking link, your Google review link, personal and business mode, analytics, AI follow up, like all of this nonsense.
Oh,
And
thanks.
people still will message us and go, I can't believe you're charging $30. And I'm like, do you understand that it's $30 a year, not $30 a month? Like, we are not greedy. Like, it's $30 a year. I'll
Mhm.
gladly refund you your product costs and then you go into the subscription. That's fine. Or you
Mhm.
can not. Like, I don't care. We just want people happy at the end of the day.
Yep.
And then people are like, oh, I thought it was $30 a month. I'm like, dude, it literally says yearly. Like, y'all barbers can read, but y'all don't read. I love y'all, but you're hands on and visual and you don't read. Can read, but you
Literally,
don't. So
they don't. They just goes
it's
out the
out.
mind. Uh-huh.
And then they're like, oh, that's cheap. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Because you're helping us provide for our families long term. And,
Mhm.
you know, God willing, all of us be able to retire our parents and put our kids through school one day. Like that's
Yeah,
our
man.
goal. And we're only charging $30. Like it's not that much.
Mhm.
And when I tell them that it's yearly, they're like, oh man, it should be more than that. I'm like, you were just complaining about the $30 a month. Like, I don't understand. Make it make sense. I don't get it. But I
Right.
always say that, like the whole
Mhm.
y'all barbers can read, but y'all don't read. Like I say
Yep.
that when I hand out an instruction card at a show because so many times they're like, how do I activate it? I'm like, dude, step 3, read.
Oh man,
Like
if you saw the egg,
we made it 4 words because we've done 40 freaking shows. Like, I
right.
mean, I did 52 flights in 2024.
Oh
52.
man.
So
God.
I'm like, y'all read. Like we made it simple for you guys, for the industry, because we know that
Mhm.
we want to make an impact And we also don't want to play customer service 24/7 because I have a
Yeah,
life.
definitely. Dude, that's the biggest thing. That's like that egg chair video that I made, bro. What did I do? The first thing I did, literally throw away the instructions. That was, oh, hold up, maybe I do need them. Bring them back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Like, man, that
Well,
definitely
because
is a
half the
thing.
time the instructions don't make any sense anyways. You know, it's like, dude,
Mhm.
you're not make. We made it simple because I know most instructions don't make sense.
That's it, man. Straight to the point, huh?
Straight to the point.
Um,
It's activate it and get paid. Period.
That's it.
Um, so what keeps you from chasing clout over calling?
Man, it's never been by the cloud, bro. Never. And I can honestly say that hands down, and I believe that's what has helped me grow as
Mhm.
much. But it's always been about making an impact. Cause I had people make a huge impact on me, and I see how much it changed my life. And that's my mission with everybody now, man. Like I want to show them that there's more. It doesn't matter what background they come from or whatever. Like they can do it. Cause I mean, certain things that I've done and have, essentially through society, I shouldn't have it, but I got to this point. So, like I said, it's never been about that. So, a quick little story on that. Whenever I first started blowing up on social media, I always kept it a secret. Like I never wanted people in my hometown to find out about it. Not because whatever. I just because I knew like essentially for me, I gotta say this carefully because it does matter, but essentially it doesn't matter. If I don't make an impact on at least one person, then what's the purpose of having a huge following, right? I much
Right.
rather make sure that I can help change somebody's life and they become a better version of themselves than just me saying that I have X amount of followers.
100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Mhm.
Chasing that impact is is everything. That's actually the name of my church is Impact Church,
Oh,
and that's how Bop With A Purpose podcast came.
this
There
thing,
we go
man.
again.
Yeah.
Uh, that's actually how Bop With A Purpose podcast came about is through Impact Church and making an impact, and our whole Bible study was on purpose.
Purpose.
And I was like, Bop With A Purpose podcast, and I sent it to my partner, Matt, and dude, it was literally the next morning, he had the logo that's sitting above our screen, and I was
I
like, "That's
love that.
fire. Alright."
It is. I
So,
love that.
but yeah, chasing that impact and providing that value, I think, over clout any day, and it seems like everybody that's on the stages and has a voice inside of, specifically the barber industry
Mhm.
is they're all very humble. Like,
That
there's no,
definitely.
like, cockiness at all. Like,
Thank God, bro. Like it's all
it
love.
it's all love, and, like, people that have, like, the biggest of the biggest following are, like, the most humble, down to earth like yourself. I mean, you have a million on TikTok and what, 2 something on Instagram, right?
Altogether, it's like about 1.3 with
Yeah,
all the platforms.
and you're humble. You
Man, thank
don't think that you're better than anybody else. You treat everybody the same. You don't look down upon people. You don't think like, you have your nose up in the air. I mean, there's so many people in the industry that are exactly like that. From, you, Los Cut It, Bird, like everybody that I've
Mhm.
met, Ivan Zoot.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jay, like Jay, when he's in show mode, like when he has,
Mhm.
1,000 things and weight on his shoulders, like, yeah, it's short, it's brief, it's boom, he's got to go. But
Mhm.
like when it's like, all right, show's calming, dude, normal human being, very humble,
Man, I've run
very,
into
very
him
humble.
so many times. Like once he gets out of break, and man, just super cool guy to just talk to, man. Like
Mhm.
just joke around, man. Like last time I seen him was at Cherry's event this past year, and one of the guys that I was with, he had a rooster. And man, Jay saw us with the rooster. He's like, "Hey, man, you bring it over here. I want to take a picture with it." I was like, "Man," and just that little thing. I was like, "Man, we're just all human. We like the same stuff. Like we're showing drink, but just random things, bro." you know. So yeah, man. But Yeah, super cool down to earth, and a lot of people, like you said, man. I've been able to talk to so many people that I looked up to, man, and from day one, whenever I would meet them at shows, and they would have a little chance, would chop it up, and I think that's what taught me. It's like, hey, like we're all human, we're all just regular, like, and they show love to me, so now like I gotta do the same thing, like show love to the people too.
Yep, exactly.
Mhm,
And that's how you continue to accelerate and go further.
mhm,
And God just continues to bless you. And
mhm,
I think that's like the the most amazing thing to see, especially like when you watch it from others, you know, like Prince the Fit barber, all right?
mhm,
Like we worked with him 2 CT barber expos ago. Okay.
mhm,
He had very little on social media. He wanted to work at the booth, and I said, "Yeah, sure. You know, we do a 10% commission up until 1,000, 20% if you cross over 1,000. You know, and it's on the full amount. Like we're not greedy. Like we don't care. We don't do day rate stuff. It's like all commission based. Like let's go." And he was like, "Dude, I just want to work for free." And I'm like, "I don't. We don't work like that. I'm sorry. No,
mhm.
you're getting paid. I'm. I don't do business like that." He was
Right.
like, "I just want to work. I just want to work." So he worked with us, and then he went over to Stylecraft later the next day, worked for Stylecraft, and then just to watch him grow these past 2 years
Oh,
is
definitely.
like, dude, mind blowing. And then he's
Right.
still the same person, you know,
Mhm. That
and
Right, man, just great people.
great people. Just
Uh-huh.
everybody in the industry that blows up, you know, is they're just great human beings. And I think God just blesses that
You know
over
what
and
I think
over.
it is though? I think it's and I don't know really how to explain it, but and this is where we go back to whenever I first started, man. When I first started growing up, I had a different mindset. Like I said at the beginning of this, I had a different mindset, and I actually did have that mindset of like, man, like people at those levels, they don't care about nobody, this and that. But I found it, and it was a part of me maturing because at that time, I mean, I was like 15ish and stuff. Like I thought the world was against me, but
Right.
uh, you know. But the moment that I started seeing, like, no, like they're available to me too, my mind shift started changing, and that's whenever it was like I started like instead of envying people for being at high levels like that, I started looking up to them and taking inspiration from them, and it taught me like most people at a high levels, man, they've already achieved that, and it's been because they've given back so much. So I
Right.
guess it's just in their blood. Like it's like man, like they got to that point because of all the work they put in, all the love they gave back, all the value, and I think that's what helps them like remain humble, I guess. At least I like to say that's what has helped me as well.
100%.
Mhm,
100%.
mhm,
So, getting into legacy and what's
mhm.
next, when it's all said and done, how do you want to be remembered?
Man, I want to be remembered the same way that I remember Mr. Robert.
I love that.
Being a change man, and Mr. Robert actually, this is how crazy I know. He came into my life, man. Like I worked with him 4 years, and it's where, like I said, I truly. This is where my faith in God really became super like close with him because, like I said, I had that wild mindset. I started working with Mr. Robert. He taught me a lot. I was working with him every single day. We would ride together. He taught me a lot, essentially opened that door for me to get into the salon. And eventually I actually gave him like a 3 months notice. I was like, hey man, I think I'm gonna pursue my thing with barbering and this and that. And he told me, hey, go for it. He's like, the thing he told me was like, I think God wants to put you in a position where you get to meet so many people and you get to speak to them about Him. And so he encouraged me to go for it. Kid you not, on my last day, whenever I left him, 2 weeks later, he passed away from a heart attack. And yeah, and actually,
Wow.
right, January 27th is his birthday. February 12th, I think, is whenever he passed. But at that time, like I said, like 2 weeks after I left, he passed away. So I genuinely believe God put him in my life to help me change because that was a turning point for me. So again, so if I can be that person to some kid out there, man, that would be everything. Like literally, that's all it is. Like that's all it is. That's how.
Dude.
And that's why I speak about Miss Robert a lot, man. Because like that's how much of an impact he had on me, and that's how I remember him as. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a testimony and a half. 2 weeks
yeah,
later.
man. Literally two
Wow.
weeks.
After the 3 months that you spent with him,
Yeah, after
right?
3 months notice that I gave him.
And then 2 weeks
Yeah.
later. Wow.
Uh-huh.
That that's God's timing right there.
It
That's
was, man. Like
for
I said, there's
sure.
no other way I can explain that. Like, there's no way
Woo.
that I worked with him and I ended up working at a shop thanks through his job. I got that chance and met the right people, and yeah, man, he changed my mindset. And yeah,
Wow.
so uh-huh.
That's so crazy. And it kind of reminds me of, how obviously this podcast came about and everything, but I was actually backtracked to 2010, 11. I'd just
Mhm.
broken up with my ex-girlfriend, and I went to an altar calling at a church. And Pastor Evelyn, I'll never forget her name, red fire hair, still friends with her on social media.
Mhm.
But my dad was there and she prayed over me because I was, distraught. I dated this girl for like 4 or 5 years, crazy.
Mhm.
But she prayed over me and she stopped mid prayer and she was like, looked at my dad, looked at me, and she goes, "You have a huge calling on your life." She goes, "And it's to do ministry through business, and they're not to be separated." And I was like, huh, that's weird. Like, I only have my detailing business. Like, hmm. And then I moved out here, didn't drift away from God, but drifted away from the church because I'm in a whole new city and, I was in network marketing. I was completely like over here. Still believed, but was not like involved.
Right.
And then the owner of that network marketing company posted Impact Church. And I went with my now wife and we started going to church regularly, and I was completely out of the entire, company of network marketing. I was just doing my detailing business and went there, started going, and then it was like, let's see, before Bopper. We started Bopper in 2021. It's probably like 2020. It's about 4 or 5 years ago. I went up and did an altar calling, and the lady stopped mid prayer and said the same exact thing. You're to do ministry through business. You
Mhm.
have a huge calling on your life. Don't miss that. And I was like, I started crying. I was bawling. I'm like getting those spiritual goosebumps right now. But I'm like, okay, God, like show me. Like show me. Like and
Mhm.
and that whole time, like he's been teaching me patience. Like I went through a lot of stuff prior to that. Like I had a medical marijuana delivery service prior, and by the grace of God, I had the Hells Angels lawyer and have no charges. So thank God. But
Mhm.
when she said that, I was like, I'm crying. And my wife's like looking at me like, what's going on? And I texted my dad and I was like, do you still have that note from Pastor Evelyn? He sent it to me. Same exact thing. And I'm just like, all right, God, show me. Then Bopper started. Then the expos. Then the stages. And then people talking about God. And I'm like, yo, got it. Get it. Good. Check. All right. Show me.
That's it.
Show me. All right.
Mhm.
And then the Bible study, all about purpose. And now here we are on the podcast. And I'm like, all right, God, use me as your vessel. Use me. I'm here. I surrender it all. Let this go to, we have like 30,000 people or so, I think, on Bopper, probably a little bit more than that. And our email list is fat too. So it's like, all right, if we can use this and we can save one soul, like that's it. Like that's all that matters.
That's
And
it.
hearing your testimony on Mr. Robert and 2 weeks later, like, dude, like that just solidifies everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
man. It does.
Everything.
Literally, bro.
That's the only reason, that's our purpose on earth. It's not to make money. It's to make an impact. It's to enhance the
Mhm.
kingdom of God. That's it.
Yeah.
That's our whole purpose in life.
That's it. No, it is. Uh-huh.
So, what's next for you creatively and spiritually?
Man, I'm kind of one that again, man, like so again, this goes up and whenever I try to veer off and I try to do my own thing and I try to plan, a lot of times, man, it doesn't. And this is something I've learned throughout the years. I've tried to make so many plans on so many different things, and usually whenever I do that, it never works. So literally, like I was telling somebody like this sometime last year, and I was like, "Hey, this from now on, I'm just gonna go with wherever God puts me at. Like, honestly, because right now I don't know where the next creativity journey is. I have no idea, but there's so many different signs, so many different things that I'm like, man, God's in control of the wheel. He's gonna take me where He wants to take me, and that's the way I'm going this year. Like, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep, doing what I need to do in the meanwhile. But I feel like somewhere along this line, He's gonna direct me to where I need to be next.
It's that TikTok shop.
You know what's crazy? So this, I will say this as far as the creativity side, since we're talking about that. This I have a house that I was renting out, and it's been rented out for 4 years now, and it was doing very well. Like I had a really good tenant for 4 years. While she moved away, I got a new one, and from June to now, it's been chaotic. So, long story short, she hasn't paid 4 months worth of rent, and it kind of put me in this like position, you know. And I was like, man, why, how, or what? And so, so I finally came to the conclusion, like me and her discussed things, and she's gonna be moving out. She's gonna be leaving in a couple weeks, and I think God wants me to go to that house. I think He wants me to go ahead and just live there because it's an hour away from where I work at. So it almost makes no sense to go live there. Uh, but I'm gonna do it because I feel like it. So I'm gonna go move there, live in there. But now that it's like out of nowhere, it hit me. It's like, man, what if I go into this house? I have no furniture, and I start a whole new series where I furnish my whole house with nothing but TikTok shop stuff, couches from TikTok shop, because I've been seeing all that stuff there, and I'm like, I can get it, post it, and we build out this whole thing with that. Now, is that going to be the move? I don't know, but I just got a strong, good feeling about it. So we'll see how that goes.
Hey,
Okay. And if it's
and then you
not
get
that, I
and
still
then you
feel
could
like
turn it into an Airbnb that you furnished for free.
that's it, man. Like who knows? Who knows what's going to come out of this? That's what I'm like, man. I strongly feel like I need to go move here. It's a bigger city. So I don't know. Who knows? And I'm gonna discover it once I'm there.
Love it. Love it.
Uh,
So, how can people support or connect with you on what you're building?
oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, like her. That's a good question, man. Connect with me. I tell you this. I do keep a very tight circle, and the people that I work with, man, are the people that just naturally become like brothers and sisters. I've traveled so many different places before, and I've talked to so many people, but there's certain people, man, they come and talk to you and it just feels different. And man, like I have so many brothers and sisters out there that I would do anything for them. They ever come up to me with an idea with something up or they need help promoting something, man, I'll do it. Like that's who I support. Like they show me love and I show them love, and just that's the way that I connect with people. Just genuine
Their
connections.
energy is different.
What's that?
I said their energy is different.
It is different, man. It is. It
Yeah.
is. Certain people, man, yeah.
That's that
Uh-huh.
I can read people as soon as I meet them, like within a couple minutes. Like I can tell
Yes,
exactly who you are. If
definitely.
have an ego and you think that, your poop doesn't stink, like
Hmm.
we all do the same doo doo. So, dude,
Yep.
you're nobody special. Like, yeah, you're made in God's image, but like, don't think you're, you know,
Mhm.
everybody. Like, no, like you're not. We
Yeah, man.
and it's funny because like I don't get what it is about like people that are trying to come up and they try and act like that, and then they don't see their surroundings, you know? And then they try and connect with a person like you, and it's like, dude, like they see right through you. They just saw what you did to that person that was at that vendor booth. Like
Mhm,
these people that are in these places up on stages and all that kind of stuff, dude, they can see you from a mile away. They're watching their
mhm.
surroundings. And
Definitely, man.
I don't think that a lot of people that grasp that, and like I hate to say this, but I mean, we've had people turn us down, and if you have the opportunity to, come to our booth and we talk to you and you tell us no, that you don't want the product, like you're doing yourself a disservice at the end of the day. Like we're putting
Mhm.
more money in your pocket than you're ever going to put in ours. Unlike a lot of products that are, at the shows or, t-shirts and stuff like that don't even relate to barbering whatsoever. And people
Okay.
buy them, which that's fine. Everyone likes to be swagged out, but like, dude, we're trying to help you. And then they're
Yeah,
like, no, I'm good. I'm like, dude, are you still working 6 or 7 days a week? And
yeah.
is your chair constantly spinning? Because if it ain't spinning, you ain't winning, like Jay says. Like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna keep it real. If you raise your prices, are you gonna lose clients? Probably. Okay, which is
Yep,
a good thing because that frees up your schedule. But then you can get more clients. But how are you gonna get those clients if you don't have a business card?
yep.
If you don't have, and if you hand them a paper business card and they throw it away or lose it, you just lost a client that should be in your chair for the next 20 years or even 10.
Mhm.
Like
That's
you
it.
just did yourself a disservice by turning me down. And then you're going to go up to George and try and shake his hand. And we know him personally. And it's like,
Yeah,
dude, like, what don't you get? Like, and
yeah.
it's so funny because it's like, dude, we could open so many doors for you. Like, you don't understand. My Rolodex,
Mhm,
I hate to, not to be like cocky, it's just like confidence, but like my
mhm.
Rolodex of people, like I know everybody in the industry because we've
Yeah,
provided value everywhere that we can. If they were throwing a show, we were sending them products. We might not be able to
mhm.
afford 30,000 because we don't have VC money and we just don't got it like that. God
Mhm.
willing, we will someday. But like
Right?
we can provide value wherever we can as much as possible, whether that's an email blast or Facebook post or a push notification, which no one has the capability of doing, or building out your
Mhm.
website or building on a funnel. Like we have all the tech stuff, and then we get some egotistical barber who thinks that they have, you know 300 pots to piss in, and I'm like, dog, like your pot is no bigger than mine. Like we can provide value. Don't try and act all fluffy
Mhm.
fluffy. Like no, it's
Yep,
that
that's it.
cloud over calling, and it's like, no, keep
That
your
that's
calling,
what
dog. Like we'll help
cloud
you.
over calling, that's what it was. Yeah, dude, it is. It's crazy, man. It's crazy like that. And yeah, but like you said, like you have those people, and then I think it's truly a gift that we're able to read people. Because I truly believe I have that gift myself, and I used to think that everybody had it, but no, I've learned that not everybody does have the gift.
No,
But
unfortunately, but that's all right. We'll shed a light
yep,
in a dark place.
that's it.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah, that's it.
So how do faith and values play into business decisions and partnerships?
Business decisions and partnerships, man. I'll tell you this. I can answer that with this story. I've like I said, that guy that came to me, my client that found me off of TikTok, and he came got a haircut, and we built out that online course, which was a huge blessing. That in itself was a partnership through Christ, man. Because same thing, like he came to me. I mean, granted, like I didn't even know this person. Like we were from the same area essentially, but I didn't know him. I didn't know who he was, but we talked a couple times, and man, just I felt that connection with him. I felt that trust, and we both talked about how. So we were talking before that, right? And we were talking about how we want to see everybody succeed, which is essentially the name of the company that they own. It's called High Tide Rise, And I was telling him, yeah, man, I like to see everybody rise and succeed. And he's like, man, that's funny because that's the name of our company. It's High Tide Rise, all ships rise as the seas go up, you know. So I was like, man, that's crazy. So I just instantly had that good connection and it just made sense, man. And we launched a course, complete strangers whatsoever. The very first
Wow.
time, like the very first time we started recording here, we had only known each other for maybe like 3 times prior to that. We were recording here. We went to Dallas to get a couple stuff, and like I'm just staying with the strangers essentially. But it was through Crossing that they built that partnership. And I will say this too: anytime that you go into business with somebody, it's important to have that faith as a foundation and to have the faith in God, because essentially you put up it's a lot of risk going into business with somebody, and regardless if
Mhm.
it's somebody that you don't know or somebody that you've known forever, it's always a risk. And we were blessed enough to where we've never really had that problem. Like we to this day we've worked on certain projects. Man, we've done so many projects, which that'll have to be another story. But uh we've done so much, but there's never been that sense of greed of money, because I think money what I personally believe it. Money is something that will destroy relationships as well if not dealt with carefully. But again, our faith in Christ and our faith in each other just makes that partnership so strong, man. And then I do anything for them, and they do anything for me, and I completely trust them with everything that I have.
That's amazing. Sounds like
Mhm.
you're both good stewards of the money.
Okay, so
Like
yeah,
like
man.
like the Bible tells us to do, which so many of people lack, you know? They lack
Yeah, man.
that stewardship. And greed runs amok, like people see a little bit of money and then it's like, they want everything and it's like that's one thing that like I love about my partners. Like
Mhm.
I'm so blessed to have such amazing partners. Um, we split the company in three. For those that don't know, like we all equally own it, which is so amazing because like Jarek put in so much work, especially in the front end of doing the app and all of that kind of stuff. Matt does all of the graphic design, like, above our heads and all of that kind of stuff. Like he does everything, like our backdrops for our shows, like all the social media stuff. Like he does all of that. And then I'm all like business things, partnerships and, the podcast and going to all the shows. Like I was primarily the one to go to all the shows. Generally, I had like this kid Nico, um, not the average barber, follow me around. Not follow me around, but join me, I should say. Following sounds like a dog, but he would come around with me and like amazing asset, to our business.
Mhm.
But we all provided equal value, and we don't
Right.
ever fight about like money. Like we just don't care. Like we're barely even taking any money from the company because we all have our own businesses. So we're just like focusing on the impact that we can really make with inside of the business to others because we know that, obviously God will bless us in the long run. And God willing, we get to 100,000 people paying $30 a year, and
Mhm.
then
And
we're
that's
golden, and we can sit back and kind
that'll
of
be it.
kind of have the opportunity to relax a little bit.
Right? No,
but
definitely.
but yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I think that camaraderie of having that Christ-centered faith is definitely what keeps a good partnership together for sure.
No, definitely.
100%.
You have to.
100%. So let's do a little rapid fire. So we're at, an hour and 45 minutes. I do want to thank you so much for the time that you took out of your day to spend it with us. We definitely don't take that for granted. Um,
I'm having a blast, bro. Love to be
Thank
here.
you. I appreciate it. So rapid fire, clippers or scissors?
It was Clippers nail scissors.
Really?
And I'm still
Why?
learning with my scissors. It's a challenge. It's a new challenge. I love longer hairstyles now. So it's a new challenge that I'm ready to attack.
Nice. Nice. Love it.
Mhm.
Have you dove into like color and all of that kind of stuff?
I did, but not really my forte.
Yeah.
I'll stick to the scissors.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in Texas. It's kind of like I think people in
Uh,
Texas, like I don't know, every Texas show that I went to, no one had color. It's not
I
like a
see
thing.
that.
It's
See,
it's
that's the
not like
thing.
California where they're a little.
Right, they get the creative colors going
That
on.
creative color.
Uh-huh. And
Uh, early mornings or late nights?
super early mornings.
Yep,
I'm
same.
definitely a morning guy, man.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes till my bedtime. Uh, uh, what fade are you most proud of in your journey inside your entire life?
Man, I would say it's got to be the burst fade with a double edge up. That fade right there, man, is what essentially changed up my social media. It's like, man, that was one of the best fades ever. Like it literally, it became the fade that became my staple, I guess.
Fire,
Uh-huh.
fire. Um, last question. What is your message that you'd like to leave to the world?
Ooh, a message that I want to leave to the world. That was a tough one, man. I would just say go after your dreams. Like pursue your dreams. Go after what you believe in. And I think more than anything, uh, remain who you are along the journey, because you will be faced with so many different challenges and obstacles, and whether they're good things that come to you or bad things that come to you, just keep on being true to yourself and true to your values.
Definitely, 100%. Staying grounded and Christ centered is the number one most important, for
That's it.
sure, for
That's
sure, for
it.
sure. Well,
Mhm.
George, I want to thank you for being on Bop With A Purpose podcast, where faith can fuel and impact the industry. So thank you so much. And we will see you at the next show. And we'll
Definitely.
catch with you offline to go over that TikTok shop stuff because we got to get it
Oh
popping.
yeah,
Or
we'll
should I
get it
say
going, man.
get it bopping?
Well, I appreciate you having me, man. I had a blast.
Definitely. Likewise. Talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
Faith, business, impact. You're tuned in to Bop With Purpose podcast, where purpose leads and success follows.